Hey guys, if you hear some children screaming in the background, it's because I have a normal family just like yours, and some people just did not get enough sleep last night. I, however, am really excited that I did complete days 6 and 7. Today's day 7 of 80-Day Obsession, and there's just no way I'm going to go live Saturday nights after doing cardio. However, I'm very excited to summarize how it was for you today. So today we had a rest and recovery day using our foam roller for the first time, and I actually spoke to a whole community of business owners about self-care today, and that is exactly what rest and recovery day is all about. So we will get to foam rolling in a minute. First, let's talk about cardio flow. So this is actually a very exciting part of 80-Day Obsession that I didn't know about. I was actually very careful not to preview any of the workouts as they're being released because I get intimidated. And you may think, she's been doing this long enough, she shouldn't be intimidated, but I do, I get intimidated. So I like to know that when I press play, it's going to be over 30 or 40 minutes later and I'll survive. So especially when doing something for the first time, I like to be surprised. So I was, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. There is one move that I have been dreading since I saw the previews of 80-Day Obsession, and I was surprised at how well I did and how difficult some of the moves were, and I actually had to modify the modifier. Here's where the exciting thing was. At the end of this workout, she announces that this is the identical workout we'll be doing again with them every Saturday for the next 4 weeks. And then we're going to do that same workout, just up our repetitions of each move in phase 2. So that would be month 2, and then again in month 3. So we're doing the same movements. And I actually am really excited about that because in all the other workouts, they're going to be completely different every single time. And that's great, and it's exciting, and it's wonderful to not get bored. On the other hand, I found these moves incredibly challenging in cardio flow, and I like that I'm actually Saturday night, the hardest night of the week for me to work out. I'm gonna know exactly what to expect and know exactly where I want to improve, and I'm always gonna be able to say, well, you did this already last week, you're gonna have no problem doing it this week, maybe you'll even get better. So I'm actually really excited about that. I know that some people had mixed reviews over that, but I really tend to try to look at my weakness as exactly the next thing I'm going to be celebrating as my strength. So definitely there were a crab move that was super difficult, and I had to modify the modifier even, but I'm really looking forward to, I know that the way the program is going, I will be able to do that move by the end of the month, hopefully after repeating that 4 more times. So I'm very excited about it, and then to see where I can go from there. Now, rest day. So this is our second rest day. We practiced the meal plan for 1 week with A Little Obsessed before starting. So this is the second time I'm going through a rest day. And a rest day is really time to get intentional about week 2. And we do that by looking back at week 1 and saying, okay, if I want the results that promised that I'm going to get by creating these habits and getting focused, I have to do my due diligence. I have to go back and see, where was I not exactly following the program this week, even though I thought I was. So a few things I can look back at this week and say could use improvement. I definitely did not get 8 hours of sleep every night this week, guys. I 100% did not. There were a lot of nights I got to bed and I was in bed for 8 hours, but things beyond my control happened and I didn't get 8 hours of sleep. And there were nights I didn't even plan for 8 hours sleep. Like, I didn't get in bed knowing I had 8 hours before I had to get up the next day. So again, sleep, when you're working your muscles this hard, is so important to seeing the results that are promised. So I know that if I want to have that expectation, I have to do all the things I need to do, and one of those is getting more sleep, which of course as a new mom and a working mom can be difficult. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean that it's not worth it. So I'm going to be spending this week a little more aware that that is somewhere that needs work in my life. Another thing that I found I could be better at this week is being consistent with measuring out the food. because I've been really good at meal planning and meal prepping. But sometimes when I'm actually putting it on my plate, especially this weekend over the Shabbat, I was looking at the portion on my plate that I had taken as one protein portion. And I was like, is that really one protein or is that 1.5? And I had to really ask myself that. And I knew if I had to really ask myself that, I wasn't using my box every other meal except for Shabbat during the week. So again, I've taken my boxes out prominently and not only measured, like when I prep in advance, I always use the cup. But when I'm just serving myself, sometimes I eyeball it. So again, to be more aware, to, if I'm noticing that I'm questioning my eyeball, to use the cup more so that I don't need to question, I don't need to doubt myself. Anything else that I was looking back, oh, water. It's so funny, in the summer, once it's spring, I have no problem getting in those 3 liters of water I need to a day. And today I did a really good job getting in 1.5 liters by noon so I could get the second 1.5 liters by 5. But not including my Energize and Recover in my water definitely means I have not been getting enough water in. If I include my Energize and Recover, that's easily 32 ounces and I'm absolutely getting enough water in. But Autumn talked about in a video this week that while you can count that as part of your water because it's a liquid, your body doesn't actually use that the way it uses regular plain water, and to try to get that in as actual water. So definitely room for improvement. Some big wins this week is I did experiment with some new recipes that I found were definitely keeping Time Nutrition fun. I made a bean salad and a lentil salad by using 2 cups of a bean or a lentil. So I did like a garbanzo bean salad. So I did 2 cups, that's 4 servings of a carb, and then I did a cup of 4 different kinds of vegetables. So I did kohlrabi shredded and carrot shredded and purple cabbage shredded and baby spinach, and then I mixed that all together and then divided that into 4 portions. And I think I even really did 5 cups of vegetables because I did like 2 cups of spinach because it cooks down so much you can easily get away with a little bit more spinach. And I put on a really yummy nut mix for my yellow, for my orange for my healthy fats, and a yummy Dijon vinaigrette. And actually, because it was all crunchy vegetables, it stayed good for 3 days, and then I was able to have something that felt filling and colorful, more interesting than just plain brown rice or toast. And I did a lentil salad with, again, measuring 4 servings of carbohydrate. So I did lentils, and I then added 1 cup of diced cilantro or kuzbara, coriander, and 1/2 cup of diced mint, 2 dates. So I didn't even really kind of counted that as part of the dressing, with a balsamic vinaigrette. And I was able to really have 1/2 a green even, and then put that over that lentil salad over some fresh vegetables that I'd cut up, or bag salad at the time. So then I had a full serving of vegetables and healthy fat in the dressing as my teaspoon, and my yellow as a bean or a lentil, making sure I'm getting all those B vitamins in. And beans and lentils, even if you're not like a vegan, are so good for you. And just because we eat meat also doesn't mean we should be ignoring them, because they actually help to balance blood sugar. They're full of nutrients, and they really are going to keep you full. So if you're, on where you fall in terms of your calories, if you're eating a lot more than usual, so maybe beans and lentils, you don't want to have your carb because they're super filling if you're feeling very full already. But if you're feeling like worried that maybe this isn't enough food for you, or you're getting hungry, then you have to look at your food choices. And I know that if I had beans and lentils as my carbohydrate, they keep me really, really full. And because I'm not having too much at a time, I'm only having 1/2 cup, they also were not making me gassy and bloated like if you have a big 1.5 cup serving of bean salad like you would feel. So a lot of wins this week, and I'm really, really excited for what's going to happen in week 2. These habits are not easy. However, it has been not feeling as difficult because of the amount of planning necessary to be successful in this program, really I'm making so many decisions ahead of time, and I really feel actually free because I made the decision to follow the 80-day obsession plan no matter what of Time Nutrition. And so really I'm not even considering having pizza, even healthy pizza, because I never have that kind of healthy fat with a carbohydrate on this plan in my bracket. So again, it's taking a lot of choices out of my hands even, but I still have plenty of choices. I also made baked apples this week as one of my fruit by just roasting in the oven apples that were halved, the core taken out with cinnamon on top, and I just roasted them in the oven. So again, I had a more interesting fruit than just having a plain fruit, and that made a big difference in terms of my enjoyment and my satisfaction from my food. But again, I knew I had to make a fruit, so I either had to buy grapes or strawberries again, or I had to think of something different. The decision of whether or not I'm going to eat fruit at that time of day, I already made. The decision of whether I'm going to have my shake at 2 p.m. every day has already been made. I just go to the blender on automatic pilot and I do it. And that's really the magic of habits. That's why this is the Habit University program, because you made the decision to follow through. Now you just have to remember that. You have to let go of that overthinking and overjudging every single decision, plan in advance, and then just let it unfold. And that's what's taken a lot of the struggle out of week 1. I think definitely in Shabbat this week, I actually felt a tingle, a desire for that dessert, which I haven't felt in 2 weeks of not having any sweets. But again, I made myself a hot cocoa with just using cocoa powder and stevia and a little coconut cream with the hot water, and I felt totally satisfied. Again, I could see over 80 days each week, sometimes it being definitely more challenging. I feel like the key has been the not cheating and the just going with, not questioning. I know exactly what I need to eat at my next meal constantly, so it's prepared. I'm mentally ready. I don't need to decide if I'm going to eat that or debate with myself or go through any kind of loop where there's an option to say no. It's just what's happening. So all of these things are the key to building those habits in our basal ganglia. So we get the cue, we immediately do the action. There's no time to think. There's no time to judge or decide if today I'm not up for it or I am up for it. So I'm very excited about the changes I'm seeing happen in this program already in my body. And I will say one thing has been super difficult is not weighing myself every day, especially when I feel good, not going on the scale to see it validated. And to allowing feeling good and liking what I see in the mirror and going out to a speaking event today, feeling confident to grab anything that is ready out of my closet, put it on and go, allowing those wins to be enough instead of only needing validation from the scale. That's definitely a challenge because she said not to weigh ourselves till week 2. So again, not having outside validation that it's working, really having to trust my own perception of success has definitely been a little bit of a struggle this week, especially when I'm feeling good. I want to get on the scale. I want that validation to see that I'm making a progress towards a goal, and having to delay that kind of gratification and say, okay, that's not the only definition of success. The fact that I feel better in my clothes, that I'm less bloated, that I'm seeing definition that I've worked for before, that I was, even though I haven't felt like I've been pushed to my absolute limit in these workouts, that I was, when we foam roll today, I promised I would talk about that. When we foam roll today, I had knots in places I didn't even know could knot. And working those out and really seeing how I have been working all the nooks and crannies of my body in this program was, again, a huge non-scale victory. So 80-Day Obsession, week 1 in the books, week 2 starts tomorrow. And for all of us who are doing 80-Day Obsession, we have our live menu planning support group that we go through what we're eating, sharing menu ideas, supporting each other, making plans for the week, and really enjoying that time together, celebrating each other's success every Sunday night. So I'm very excited about that, and I have that to look forward to. Also seeing everyone else's success and hearing what's been working for them and also where they've been challenged, because often that's where I will be challenged. And if I can find those problems before they happen, I'm able to avoid them. So that's also why I switched up my fruit for those baked apples this week. I saw that people were getting bored, and I said, I could switch it up right now before I'm bored, before I feel stressed and annoyed about it, and I'm going to be able to avoid that pothole. So I hope this will help you on your journey to avoid a lot of potholes and to build the habits of success. Have a great weekend.